get the right reaction. I said, well, what's it
And
look
he
like in the
locked it?
first 5 boards? I said, what happened in the first 5 boards? He said, oh, they're okay. I said, well, that's where we're going to play. I want you to take out your ball that won't hook. I'm going to get on the side of the ball. I want you to move out in that area of the lane and throw it as straight as you can and go up the lane in that real smooth section that nobody's bowled in. And the lanes are all chewed up. So I said, let me know how you do, buddy.
The wood lanes, right?
The wood lane, yeah. This is 46
And
years ago.
that's what you have to do on that kind of.
Yeah. So now he calls me Sunday. Tournament's over. He says, well, I said, well, how'd you do? He said, well, it did work. He said, it did a lot better. I said, what'd you do? He said, I won the tournament. I said, you what? He says, yeah. He said, you know what, Coach? He said, I didn't have a clue where the ball was going. Now, you got to remember, almost 50 years ago. So I thought, wow.
Don Johnson said that?
Yeah, he said, I did not have a clue where the ball was going. So now, it happened again in New Orleans, and he won there, and then he come and won the Firestone, shot 299 back to back. Okay, he won both tournaments back to back, and it took under to make the cut, the top 24. Okay,
Did it usually? It usually probably did, right?
never. Bowling under, never back then.
Really?
Usually it was 100 over, 200 over, 300
Wow,
over.
okay,
Well, I
big
missed. I missed the one year I was alternate in San Jose, California. I was 516 over. But that's when we had the Sweet 16. We didn't have 24, so it was 16 spots. I had 500 over.
Wow.
And I didn't make with rubber ball.
Yeah,
Wow.
they didn't have.
You know. Yeah, we didn't have this bombs.
Yeah.
You know. But anyhow,
You had to be really accurate.
he says to me, again, he says, you know, he talks to me before the Firestone. He said, you know, New Orleans is just like when he was out in Seattle. He said, Wars, I'm telling you. He said, I didn't have a clue where the ball, but he shot 1508 for 6.
You told him where to play.
Well, down in New Orleans, he played. He said, you know what I did? I got out and I took my hand, I did this, I did that. And I said, Coco, you don't have to know where it's going if you're matched up right. See, when you're standing
You told
in
me
the
what
right,
to do when I did it.
yeah,
You know.
that's what it is every day. When you're matched up right, you don't have to be perfect. We're going to create area. I said, hey, Coco, when you got this, they can't stop you. You're too good.
Right.
So you're the same way.
Me too.
Yeah, exactly. So all you have to do is look, how can I create a couple, 3, 4 boards area? That's always out there. But you got to match it up.
You
And
gotta
there's a
find
lot
it.
of parts of this puzzle. This puzzle is very, very complicated. Okay? And that's what I want you to master, is the complication of the puzzle. But I want you to master it for Lindsay,
Right.
not somebody else's thoughts and ideas and game. And we're going to visit that. So the message is loud and clear for you, is you need to play lanes better, more often, change your skid roll hook pattern, change your rotation, change your loft, change your speed, change your angle, change your hand, change your wrist, change the core, change the cover stock. That's a lot of things going on. It's 810 combinations
Practice.
of
Right.
those 5 things. Huh?
I mean, when
Yeah.
you change the core and the cover stock, there's really, other than just picking that ball up and doing it, there's not really much to think about. Because you're not manipulating your physical.
But you
game.
got to manipulate your wrist and your hand
Right,
action,
the
your
wrist and
release,
hand.
and your loft and your speed, and it's real complicated. It's a big time
Yeah.
package. It could never get simple.
golf.
It never can be too simple. But what happens is this: it'll become simple to you once you start utilizing it on a daily basis, all the time. You say, "Oh, I'm Podunk, Iowa. I did this." Okay, and when I bowled in this tournament, the last 2 days, I went to the side and I did this, and all of a sudden I had 5 boards of area. Oh, I was matched up. That's all we're looking for, Lindsay, is to match up. When you're not bowling good, it's not you, it's you're not matched up.
Okay.
Okay? Your game's too good to bowl bad. You no way should have ever bowled as bad as you bowled in that first so many games. You're just way too good for that. You're way past. A bad week for you should be 205. You know, same way with like Rocio. When she don't bowl good, what the hell happened? And she knows this stuff pretty good.
Right.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Because I've drilled her on this stuff for several years now, her and Joe, and I mean, I hammer them on this stuff.
right.
She's here the other day. Had to tweak her game. She got too fast here. Got a little alert. So you're always, I'm not saying you're
gets
not
pretty
working.
fast, right?
Yeah, she does. She gets a little quick. She gets a little charged up, but that's,
That's her energy.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, she gets firing. So now what we need to do is we need to read that lane. Then we went over the 5 adjustments, right?
Yep.
So now Well, that was just an overview. Is all that was. That had no information to it except an overview of what it was. Okay. So now, when we look at the lane, the ball does three things every time you throw it. It skids,
Hook roll.
it rotates, and it rolls. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to look and we're going to make reading the lane two things. 1, 2. Every time you bowl, you're going to be watching, okay? Skid is the first 15 feet of the lane. Rotation is the next 30 feet of the lane. 15 feet is the hook power. So we have hook power, and then we have transition area. That's right in here. Now, it can only do one of three things. Too early, too late, or perfect. Right in here. It skids and it rotates according to how much oil's there. Now, if there's not a lot of oil here, then it's going to happen here. Too early, it's going to happen at 35 feet. Oh, God, the ball's standing up way too early. Okay. Oh, boy, there's some oil there. Oh, it's going way too long. That's what you had there, because you had it spinning. Okay, so when it spun and it hit this, and it had a little oil mark down here, it hit that area down there at about 45. I saw it as soon as I watched it throw it. Oh, my God. I could see it like plain as day. I've been working on this for a lot of years, so I see it, bang. And the ball hit that mid lane, and it pushed, and it just shot right out the window. And then a couple frames later, you tried to square it up, and it went high. I said, I can't throw it that way. I can't throw it that way. I feel like I got this. Okay, well, that's
exactly what I was feeling.
That's called over-under. That's where your game is right now. Over.
I have too much over-under. Damn it.
Okay, now we're going to get rid of that when we want to, but we're not going to get rid of that release. That release is great if they call for it.
Right.
You've had times when that release worked pretty damn good for you, right?
Yeah.
You've shot 750 with that release.
Right.
300 that
800,
release. Yeah. So we're not saying that's a bad release. You weren't matching up. That was a bad matchup. Okay? These greens are different than the greens last week, and you're trying to putt like last week. That won't work.
Won't work.
Lanes are like greens. Lanes are like streets. Let me ask you something. When the lanes, when the streets are icy, what do? Do you put more on it?
I slow down.
And you roll it. You don't put more on it.
Easier with
And
my
you put,
gas pedal.
and you get your hand on the side, okay? So you put your foot easier, and you put a little easier, and you put less on it. When they're oily, you put less on it, not more on it. But we won't, oh, they're oily, I got to put something on it.
Right.
That's the worst thing you
Less
can
is
do.
more.
You got to roll it, and you got to get your hand, and you got to have the ball roll more forward, not sideways spin. What happens when you get this over-under?
So when I put my hand on the side of it,
Yes.
it's going to help the ball, help it.
Into a roll and not change directions. It's going to migrate smooth. Yeah, I want you to master this
Off the
release.
back.
Earl Anthony was the best ever, and especially a left-hander has to have this release, because a lot of times they'll have a little too much oil in the mid lane for a turning, spinning left-hander like Johnny Petraglia. He'd have times when
Right.
he didn't get a check, and Earl would win the tournament.
Right.
And then he came here. I started working with Johnny then quite a bit. And this is back when I first built this place 40 years ago.
So this instead of
Nope. Yes, at that time. But I want this, and I want this. I want all three.
that's right.
It's
I
loaded,
just watched
unloaded.
that video.
I want it all. I want the curveball, I want the slider, I want the fastball, I want the knuckleball, I want it all. Okay? They can't stop me. I'm way too good at this stuff. That's the attitude from now on. Okay? I know how to do this stuff. I'm not afraid of this stuff. But now I want to really be precise instead of generalistic. That's a problem with videos, to be honest with you. I don't mind doing that, and now when we're doing our website, like we're going to do, I can get into detail because it's going to be every week. When I do
Right.
a video, I mean, here it is.
You've got to be more general.
Yeah, exactly,
That's
exactly.
what a video.
Over under is too much rotation. That's all that ever is. That means we're here doing this, and it hits oil and it goes that way, and it hits dry and it goes the other way. I can't square up, and I can't go out. I can't do anything. Well, it's because it's spinning, it's not rolling. Now, as soon as you go into rolling, the roll hits it on and keeps it on line and stores it and just arcs right back to the pocket. Wow. how much nicer that works. Well, that's what we always find out in practice. I never say to myself, and I don't want you to ever say to yourself, boy, I hope I bowled good today. I could give a shit. Excuse the expression. I hope I get lined up today quickly. But I will get lined up, just a matter of time. When I get lined up, it's game on. Okay? If it takes me a game or two, I'm not panicking. I'm going to work on it till I get lined up and matched up. The problem that happens is we get to where we get it backwards. That's almost the whole world has it backwards. Oh, I got to put more on it. Oh, they're dry, I'm going to put less on. That's exact backwards. The drier they are, you move over to the right a little bit and you yahoo on that thing and flip it out there because you know it's coming back. So now you know how to stop a hook ball player? Real easy. Take their hook away. Take their hook away from them. They can't bowl. You know who wins the majors? Norm Duke, Walter Ray, up the lane players. Liz Johnson, 5.
Right.
You don't hook it.
Right.
They put them a little flatter. You better know how to get your hand on the side and go up that lane and roll it. Now, when you got a yahoo on it and it's this, go ahead, and anywhere in between. Now, that's just the hand action and the wrist action, which we're going to talk a lot about. Okay? Then we have the bowling ball, the cores, the cover stocks, the pins. Then we have the loft and the speeds, and we have the rotations, we have the angles and the moving and all this package, and how to read the lane and how to match it up. See where we're at, kid?
Yep. I had it backwards.
Yep. You know what? That's 1960s, 1970s cycle. Okay, and that's still around a lot of coaches. They're not in this game. They don't travel the tour. They don't play. They play home. They play on these home patterns. And there's always a hook spot somewhere.
I gotta be loaded
Yeah.
when they're oily, unloaded.
It's just
when
the
they're dry.
opposite. Just the opposite. Okay? So we loaded up, and we taught that. And that was in my book that I wrote 30-some years ago. Our new book's it's a little bit different, okay? We want to be able to roll it, bowl it, and throw it. Okay, all 3. So when we get on the side and we roll it, they have a lot of oil in the mid lane. So that's the first thing we look at is this, the mid lane. That's the rotation, the skid rotation to this transition area. One of 3 things that happens. It's going to happen too early, it's going to go too long, or it's going to happen just right in there. One of 3 things are going to happen. That's all that can happen, one of those 3 things. Okay, now, the other thing we look at is the hook power in the back end. Now, only one of 3 things can happen. It can either snap too hard, not enough, or just right. That's all can happen.
Right.
Both of these places, 1, 2. We look at the distance. That's the distance. The distance is a combination of skid and rotation equals distance. Now, this here is the back end, and that's just a sideway reaction. What controls those 2 things? Ooh, now we're going to get some headline. We're going to emphatically pinpoint exactly what controls the distance. Okay? So we have distance, and we have back end hook. So now, this here is the distance. Number 1, most important thing is the ball cover. Guy says, I need a sanded ball. I need more hook. I said, you think I get more hook out of the sanded ball? It's going to start earlier. Don't hook more, it rolls earlier. That's all the sanded ball does, opposed to a shiny ball.
Right.
Shiny ball goes longer, a sanded ball rolls earlier. The cover stock controls distance. The core controls distance, not hook, controls distance. That's the moment of inertia. We patented the first ball ever that was ever done, the vector. That was my patent. I'd figured this out because I studied physics pretty heavy. And the arm and leg out, and the skater spin, and what do? They spin slower. When they pull the arm and leg in, they spin faster. That's we put the mass close to the axis of rotation, it rolls quicker.
Like through your core.
So now it's going to roll in the mid lane versus skid down the lane farther. Well, now if you get it rolling too early, it's going to hit flat.
Right.
So we don't need a
You get
low
the hook
RG
stop.
ball. Yep, you get the hook stop, exactly. So now, what I want you to see now, Lindsay, see this stuff with your eyes closed and get so good at it that you
Right.
match up instead of blaming your delivery.
Right.
Oh, I'm not bowling good. Now, and you know what happens to us? If we don't have this competence equals competence. Then it's real easy to cop an attitude, get a little angry, get irritated with ourselves. We're hard to talk to, we're hard to be around each other, and all that. And rightfully so. I'm not putting you down even a little bit. I mean, I understand that feeling. You know what I mean? When you're out there getting your butt kicked, it's not fun, and it's hard to be. Don't tell me it's my attitude.
Hard to be positive.
Well, it's hard to be positive because we're not matched up right.
Right.
It's not because you have a bad attitude. I'm not buying for a second you got a bad attitude. You don't go through all this stuff you went through with a bad attitude and be who you are. I ain't buying that even that much. Okay? We just got to get the parts of the puzzle better identified and spot them quicker, better, faster. And when you start the day, you might start out over here with a real low core ball with an 800 cover stock with a pin down in the middle of the grip. And by the end of the day, we're going to be standing over here with a polished ball in the hand here going, Yahoo! You know, we're going to be lined up all day. We're going to say, oh, I got it. You only got it for little windows here and there. That's all you ever have.
Right.
Especially today with these bowling balls that suck so much oil off the lane. See, years ago, we got carry down. We don't even get carry down anymore. Well, these balls won't carry it down. It just goes right into the balls.
Right.
So years ago with the polyester ball, you can see it on the rings, can't you?
would
On your
push it,
spare
yeah.
ball, you can see it. It just pushes and carries it down because on the surface of the ball, that's why we had carry down. Now, two things happened. They changed the paraffin in the oil, and they changed the ball cover stocks. So carry down is a thing of the past on it. It's a little bit, but it's poquito.
Right.
You know, it's
Right.
just a wee little bit now. Okay. So now what we do is we
And you're
redid
not getting the. Are you? You're getting the carry down, but then the heads are not as dry as they used to be.
Well,
Is that what it is?
the heads can be as dry, but the ball, they're putting a lot more oil in the lanes than they used to. That's the other thing that's changed. You know, we put size 3/4 of an ounce. I mean, hell, we never put more than 1/4 of an ounce years
Right.
ago. We're putting a lot more oil. When they come out of these new balls, we got to put more oil. Okay, so now we got these new cores, we got these new cover stocks, new materials, we got mica chips, we got glass beads, we got diamond dust, we got all this stuff, coefficient of friction. Okay, and then we got polished balls, we had Avalon pads, we never had none of that stuff.
Right.
So we couldn't get them all to react.
Right.
So we just stood over and we averaged 215. I can remember when we
That was
averaged
pretty darn
215
good.
in the All-Star League, and Dick Hoover just come back off the tour, and he averaged 212, and I led the league. Said, "You beat Dick Hoover." I said, "Well, I'm supposed to." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "My ball strikes better than his." You know, I was kidding, you know, because Dick had won the Masters and all that stuff, and they said 215. Are you kidding me? You know, but I can remember when tour was 206.
Wow.
Okay, with Don Carter. Then Nelson Burton averaged 213 one year, and he said, anybody beats that, they're going to have to cheat. The next year, Don Johnson averaged 215. That was like 72 if you check the
Wow.
records. Yeah. So now, here's
You had to line up all the way
yeah,
outside and kind of point it in.
and
That was
wherever,
good.
wherever,
Yeah,
it don't
wherever.
matter. I don't care. Overhand through the masking unit. I don't care. I just want strikes. You know what the rule is? There are no rules.
Good.
Lindsay's going to do whatever Lindsay has to do to throw strikes today. That's
Right.
all I know, and make all the spares. Hit the pocket and make your spares, and I don't care if I stand on my head, do 2 pirouettes, do a somersault, and release it. That's what I'm going to do to throw strikes. So let's get rid of the rules and start really opening up to versatility, and is the key to greatness. Now, what else controls? Now we have cover stock, ball cover, then we have the core, okay? Then we have the pin, up and down. That controls the distance. But this is nothing, almost. I mean, it's so microscopic, I don't even
Right.
worry too much about it, okay?
Right.
Now, loft and speed. There's what controls the 3 and 4. That's what controls this. So there's 4 things that control distance. Okay? Distance. Cover. Core, loft, and speed. This part of the line, right here.
And
Okay,
you have a low RG or high RG, right? I mean, that's pretty much,
that's distance.
yeah, okay.
It's distance. Yep, that's exactly. Okay. Low RG rolls earlier,
roll.
high RG pushes longer. Right. Huh?
Lower.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. Then as we move the pin up and down, it's very little, to be honest with you. But here's what happens. Here's your track. Now, if you put the pin up, it does this to the track. If you put the pin down, it does this to the track. It pulls the track up. So if you're rolling this way and you put the track up, it pushes it down more and makes it spin more. And when you pull it up, it pulls the track up this way. As you put the track, it finds its
getting that.
preferred spin action. It finds its preferred spin axis quicker because the pin is down.
Right.
Okay, so it makes it stand up a little earlier.
The ball's always going to spin eventually the way it wants to on its axis.
Right. And as we put that pin below the axis, below your PAP, and we put it down
does it
here,
quicker.
watch this.
Call it the
Here's the pin up here, does that. Now watch when I bring the pin down. See what it does?
Yeah.
This stays parallel to that. So when I bring it down here below the midline, that brings your track up and makes it catch a little earlier roll.
Earlier.
But I'm going
Sooner.
to tell you, it's so. If we have a ball set up for oil, heavy oil, we don't want a big hooker, we want a big roller.
right.
And that's where people get, they think it's all about hook. Yeah. I want you to become roll orientated more than hook orientated. Because it don't cover a lot of boards. Norm Duke proves that all the time.
Right.
Walter Ray proves that all the time.
Right.
Earl Anthony proved that a lot by rolling the ball. He was a big roller. He never closed his hand. Never
Norm
closed his
Duke.
hand. Norm Duke never
Pete.
closed his hand. Just
Yeah.
stroke roll it, okay? Now you need to really become a master of the roll game along with the rotation.
Okay.
You already got the rotation game nailed, but we didn't have the roll game.
Right.
nailed. And
I
when
need to
did
learn
you-
to roll it.
Yeah, learn to roll it and learn to
What to feel.
Yeah,
What to
exactly.
feel when I
Training
roll
of
it.
it. Yeah, you got it. Yep, exactly.
That-
So now, here's what's going to control that distance. Okay. Now, wrist, finger, rotation. Okay, and pin. Now, here's where the pin does make a difference. Moving it this way. That's big time. Okay. So now, when you get down here, and we get here, or we get here, or we get here, that's only one of three things that can happen. Now, if it's flipping too hard, you get too much rotation. Okay? Oh, we got too much wrist. Back it off. We got to get it to smooth it out. No, we want more. We'll put more on. There's Yahoo and it's 235 condition. The
Right.
higher the scores, the more the rotation. Because
Right.
they're opening up the lane for you. They're giving you room
Right.
to average 230. Okay. Now, the tougher the lanes, the less the rotation. They put it to them on the women's tour.
Yeah. Yeah. The two I bowled.
You couldn't rotate it.
No.
After the rotation game bowling on that stuff, you were in trouble.
Right. You could not be loaded.
No load, no rotation. You had to be unloaded, rolling it, laying it down smoothly with some surface, with a real static, smooth arc roll game. Right here, the thumb in toward your wallet, and just stroke rolling that thing towards good. Now watch what happens. When I do this, the ball's going that way. When I do this, the ball's going that way. We change the shape. Okay,
Right.
with this, with the wrist and the finger rotation. So now, when we can take all this speed and angle and loft and ball cover and wrist and rotation and play this game and play this here, so we have the distance and then we have the hook power. So the distance is the transition. What we're watching is right here. How do you read a lane? You don't read a lane. You watch your ball. Pushing a little, yeah, there's a little spot there. Ooh, see it hit that spot? Ooh, yeah. Oh, I better roll it. I can't be spinning it on that spot because every time I hit that spot and I'm spinning, I see it over dance on me. I
It's
see it
over.
push. You
It
got
over
it.
does it, and you leave the dumb washout.
You got it, exactly. And you say, oh, I didn't throw it good. I need to put more on it. Oh, shit, now we really got some
That's
problems.
backward.
Hey,
I have
yeah.
a backward.
Yes. Yep. Okay. And I saw it in the first time when I watched it. I said, boy, if you get her rolling it on this, she'd just light them up. I could see it right away. Okay. But I've watched millions of shots go down the lane by millions of bowlers. So, you know, on a bunch of different patterns. And this ain't something you can learn at home. Because we never have that at home. We don't have all these patterns at home.
No.
And that's the problem. You know, when we're trying to learn this at home, it's real difficult to learn how to be a Major League Baseball pitcher if you're not in the major leagues.
Right, if you don't fold.
You got to go to the minors, you go
Right.
through all that.
Right,
You know?
you got to be in the game.
And I got to be honest with you, and I'm not trying to put anybody down, trust me. I mean, I know how hard this is. I don't know if there's.
It's like happy birthday.
6 coaches in the world that can teach biomechanics, sports psychology, ball mass, motion, lane, oil patterns. These ball reps can't do it.
No.
They
No.
don't. They're not coaches. Those guys are bowlers. They don't know how to
They watch
coach all
the
the
ball.
different people.
Right.
And I'm not putting them down at all. Some
Right.
of them do some marvelous work. I'll
They're
tell you who's
bowlers
pretty good is
themselves.
Del
They're
Ballard.
not
Ballard.
coaches.
Del Ballard's pretty good
Right.
at all of it.
Right.
Okay, but he's been through a lot of stuff. He's not just a bowler. He quit bowling a lot of years ago, and he's been coaching and teaching. And Carolyn, and they've been doing a lot of stuff. And
Right.
I've spent a lot of time with them, and they're really good people. So and so I'm not trying to put in. I'm just making a point where you got to watch.
You're right. You gotta watch who you
Yeah,
listen
you
to.
got to watch really the way you're thinking, what's going on, how you're getting your information, and all that. These ball reps can hurt these people out on that tour.
Right.
That's all they do is, like they keep trying to tell us, slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. And that fired up little girl, so you're going to slow her down. You'd have to put an anchor on her tail if they can do that. Why don't we
Right.
put some ball
You can't tell
surface
her
in
to
her
slow-
hand with
slow
a
it
big
down.
heavy core and put the pin down and have her roll it more and quit trying to yahoo on it.
Right.
See?
Yeah,
And-
I did notice that Theo didn't seek out the ball rep. They came to her,
Yeah. And you know when
she
they
would
come?
just have that 2 minute conversation to just please them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just
You know when they
bullshit,
come?
bullshit with them and say, hey, yeah,
Yeah.
great job, you got that.
They
Thank you for the
show up
ball.
when you're bowling good
Right,
because they want to say, see what I did?
right,
They're back there like this, you see it. Like proud as a peacock. Well, hell, the girl's bowling good.
yeah.
Where were you when she was in trouble? Down there somewhere. I'm going to find somebody else's bowling good. So I'm going to stand where they're bowling good because my reputation, my job's on the line. I understand why they do it. I went out to the tour every 3 weeks when I was coaching the Brunswick staff. I was on the Brunswick staff, and I'd go out every 3 weeks, and I had to work with all of them. I didn't pick. You know who I picked? The people weren't bowling good. Well, the ones that are bowling good don't need me.
Right,
I need to help that person when they're not
Right.
bowling good to figure out what happens on that pattern so the next time they hit that pattern, they got a package. Okay, so yeah, come on, get that hand on the side. Relax that hand and lay it down on the heads and let's roll that thing. Let's get a real soft hand. And when the lanes are a little jumpy and touchy and spotty, well, you better have a soft hand. You better not have any energy in that bowling ball because it'll read all that stuff. And the more energy you put on it, the worse it gets.
that's my issue sometimes.
Yeah. I
Right.
think it's all of us, kid.
Yeah.
That's the whole world. Okay, it's an instinct that I need more. I threw it out and it didn't get back. I'll put more on it. Yeah, and the
Right.
more you put on it, you're flooding your car. You're flooring your car out here in the ice. What you're
Right.
doing is spinning your wheels. Isn't that what life is too? You know how many people spin their wheels in life?
Right, the whirlwind. Yep.
They never get anything done. They're not like you guys. I can tell you that. You're searching. You're looking. You guys are looking for the answers. And most people just sit and they're just spinning their wheels. And most of the people that have a pretty good game, I got to tell you, most all of them came out of the Team USA program. You look at the history. Now it's starting to change because the Team USA program just the pros bowling. I got to be honest, I hate that. They wanted me to do that when I was a coach. I said, no way. This is for collegiate bowlers and good amateurs around the world. The pros got what they need.
Right.
Okay, we had Team USA in every bowling center in the nation at one time. Now it's dying. Nobody talks about it anymore.
Nope.
We used to have them.
Because a lot of people
roll-offs.
know they can't compete. They can't get there.
You know what? They take
Like the Bill Hoffman.
Yeah.
He.
Yeah. Billy's
That's a
running
great-
Billy's running the deal over in Hong Kong.
Such
He
a great
married
bowler, but
he
they
married the
kind
gal
of like
that-
pushed him out. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird.
Well, that's what happens when you get non-business people run the business. Bowlers can't run a business. They don't know how to do it. They're not business people. You need business people run these federations, these associations, not bowlers.
Right. Same thing. Our head of USBC probably should be was a great bowler, understands bowling balls wonderfully.
What the hell does he know about running a business and a balance sheet and the marshaling and the psychological, all that package and pulling
Right.
people in,
Looking
pull
at the
people
numbers,
in, pull people
looking at
in,
the
pull
data.
people in. Yeah, you don't push people away.
Right.
They said, well, you know what? we're going to have the men's association, the women's association, youth, and it'll all be one organization. I said, that's a big mistake. What do you mean? I said, all you're doing is pushing people away. These are the worst thing ever happened, brother. That's the worst thing ever happened. We lost 170,000 secretaries because of automatic scooters. Secretaries are 170,000 salespeople that used to get a team every year. That's 850,000 people a year. We used to have 12 million sanctioned bowlers. Now we got a little over 1 million. And nobody did anything about it. I used to say, who's got the plan? Where's the plan? What's the plan? That's how I come up with lunar bowling. That's my... Two things change the shape. Yep, and pin sideways. See, if I drill the ball here, and here's your track, and I put the pin over there, that's going to stand up and go straighter, isn't it? You ever have one drilled like that?
Yeah, I have.
That'll go right up the lane.
That was the IQ.
Okay. Now,
Fusion.
if we drill it and we put it down in here, it's going to stand up early.
Yeah.
Okay. So we
more of a hook top.
right now, if this is here and we put it over here, that's going to make it flip.
Big time. Jumping.
Okay. Well, that's going to change the shape. So I love this stuff. So we move it around here. The way they got bowling balls right now, they're it's just the core, the cover stock, and the pin.
But you do want to look at the RG?
When you buy the ball,
I mean,
yes,
you think
yeah,
that's
the
important?
RG, yeah, the low RG, medium RG, high RG, okay.
Because I bowl better with the lower.
Yeah, because it rolls smoother for you,
Right.
huh?
Yeah.
Okay, but you need a higher one too.
Yeah.
And you bowl better on certain conditions. That you don't bowl good on all conditions of that.
Right.
See, and that's what problem we have. We fall in love with something when we. Let me say it another way. When I used to bowl the ball seminars, I'd say, I want people to have 6 different balls. When you go out in the garden, you take 6 rakes with you. You take a rake, a hoe, a shovel, a pick. You take tools. That's what these are. So here's what I want you to look at bowling balls. It's real simple. Okay? And that's what we got to do, is we got to take this mass. We'll put the mass buys over here, and put the RG over here, and the CG over here, and do this. Put the balance hole over here, and do this, and off your PA. Come on,
That's too confusing for me.
Yeah,
That's way too confusing.
It is for the whole world. It's for That's just for the scientists. That's for us ball designers, and for people that are drilling every day. Don't pour that crap on your athletes. They don't have time to learn this stuff.
I'll
It takes
worry about that.
half a year. Yeah. Now, if you're wired that way and you like that stuff, go at it. But now, here's what it is. Let's do equipment on a sheet here. Just real plain. Okay. So we're going to read the lane, distance, and hook power. Okay. Now we're talking about equipment. Give you an example. Mohammed Khalifa come here, and I worked with him, and he was from the United Arab Emirates. His grandfather was the king. And I charged him $1,000 a day. He was here every day. They're billionaires.
But,
I wasn't going to
all
give it
the
to
top
them for free.
kings there
yeah,
are billionaires, and everyone else
and he's
is
a
not.
sheikh.
Yeah.
He's a royal family.
Right.
Right.
So he's here for a couple of days. He said, well, Coach, you haven't watched me bowl much at all. I said, you didn't pay me to watch you bowl. And you pay me to get information, to teach you how to bowl. But I can watch you if you're ready. I can sit back here and just watch you throw balls if you want, all day.
Go get your drink.
Yeah, exactly. Now, here's what it is. It's real simple. Here's geometric center. Here is a low moment of inertia ball, low RG. It's really moment of inertia is the technical term. If you want to know pure science, coaching pedagogy,
Inertia
is what makes the ball, the rotation, that's the arm, that's the mass, okay? So here would be here's a high moment of inertia. Okay, that's a higher RG. Okay.
a longer, kind of a longer.
Yeah, it's more of a
bigger.
gourd-shaped object or a light bulb object. Then we have one in between those two. And this was the hammer when it first came out. Okay, so there's the hammer. It was a smooth roller. Then this one here is a little higher. Well, let's look at these 3. See that?
High road.
Look at this.
Got a
Look at
good
this.
pull.
So this one is smallest, like a kind of
Roll
like Christmas,
real early.
Christmas ornament.
Yep, low RG. Yep, you got it, kid. Low RG, earlier roll. Well, the mass is closer to the geometric center that rolls earlier. And the higher
It's
you
gonna
get,
roll earlier and faster.
and earlier
Yeah.
and a little faster.
Okay.
Yep. See, because it's going to catch into this roll because that's a big heavy core in there, and it does this right
It's
away.
going to correct itself
Okay, now.
quicker.
This one here takes a longer time to make one rotation, don't it? It's a bigger circle. That's the ice skater with the arm and leg out. It takes longer for them to make a rotation. Now, when they pull the arm and leg in, that's when you do this.
Right. So that's gonna be later.
Let me give you a better
slower?
explanation.
Okay.
Roller wings will be.
Let's do it. Let's do a better explanation. Here's a motor.
You're reading my body language really well. You know that I didn't get it that
Well,
well.
you know what? And that's my job. Now, we have a motor here. It's 5 horsepower. And I put a little pulley on it, okay? And I attach it up on the machine back there. That's how we speed up the machine. We just put smaller pulleys and it spins faster,
Right.
okay? We're going to do the same motor, an identical motor, and I'm going to put a big pulley on it. What will it do? It'll turn slower,
Okay.
okay? You're the motor. We're just changing pulleys.
Right.
That's all we're doing, but we got to know the pulley size. The RG. Low RG rolls earlier. Mid lane RG, high RG pushes longer. Now the high RG will actually flip more
Right.
on the back end. It'll be more
Snap.
angular,
Snap.
huh?
Right. Angular.
And this will roll and hook and stop. Now if there's enough oil, it won't stop. It'll just roll 60 feet right to the pocket like you did the last couple of
beautiful.
weeks. It's all
Yeah.
roll, yeah. So now what we do is we plus and minus this stuff every day. The core, the cover, the whole thing, we're plussing and minuses all the time to match into what's out there according to what time of day it is, what lane surface, what oil, all the above.
Continuous arc.
Pardon me?
Continuous arc.
Smoother arc. This one's
Yeah,
going to be
right.
sort of like this.
Right.
And
But it
this
may
one
not always be super continuous, right?
depends. It depends what the lane is. You know, it's still the boss. But see this one here? See the difference here on this one? Okay, and this one will be a little bit between those two.
Nap, like my nap log.
See here? See here?
Daredevil.
If we draw a line here, see the difference? And we draw a line here, it's a little
Like
closer.
the phase.
So this thing will just keep coming. Now, hold on a minute. If I put some oil down there with this, it won't do nothing. It'll go the other way.
Yep.
90 feet. I know.
You got it? Yeah, exactly. Okay. So what we do is we take this core. Now we have this core here. What I want you to have is I want you to have 2, 4, 6. I want 2 of these low RGs. With this one here would have like a 600 surface, and this one here will have like a 900 surface. Okay. So now when we look down on them, we're going to have this one here. One's going to be here, and then another one's going to be here. So we tweak the pin back and forth a little bit, put it in a little stronger leverage position. Okay, so we'll have one if we had that pin here to make it flip a little more, and a 600. Then we'd have a 900, and we'd just smoothen it out a little bit. So we go right from this ball right to that ball.
Well, grit.
Huh?
Six-
Yes, 600 and 900 grit. Yeah. Oh yeah. You don't need anything.
There is
possible.
600 grit
Oh,
and a 900.
300.
There's
That's
180.
600. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
180.
Yeah, I want something that'll bite the lane. I don't care how much oil's out there. We'll make it roll. We'll take that spin out of it.
Love it. Love it.
360.
Yeah, we'll just take the spin right out of that ball and put that in. But see, they bowl in too many dry conditions, and they don't get these tournaments, and then they flood them up a little bit, and all of a sudden you're not ready because you're not bowling on that very often.
Right.
And then you say, wow, I don't use sanded balls. They roll too early. Yeah, on a house pattern, you're darn right. They will every time. You hate them on a house pattern.
Right.
You don't even want a big heavy core with sanded in a house pattern. You can leave them at home.
Yeah. I did 10 pin.
Yeah, exactly. It'll start so early that, so now what we do here is now we go up to 1,200, 1,500, 2,000, up to 3,000. Wow, now I got 6 different coefficient
He's helping
frictions.
me.
Okay, now we have a medium RG. Okay, now we have a high RG, or
can do all that.
medium to high RG on both of these. So now I got 6 different bowling balls, and I want 3 boards different from one ball to the next. and talked to Chris Marsh years ago, and I said, Chris,
And you just kind of go down the line.
you got it. Okay, when I want 3 boards, I just go over and pick it up. I know it. So I said to Chris, Chris,
I need 3 boards.
what's that ball doing? What's that ball doing? He said, oh, it hooks more than that ball. I said, yeah, I know it does. How many boards? Well, this ball and it don't hook. You just, oh my God. You're mentally, yeah,
and then
you
I'm
got
like,
it.
holy shit.
You got it. You got it. Exactly. Exactly.
Oh my God, now there's
Yeah.
something going on with my physical game.
Yeah, you got it. Now you start chasing rainbows. Now, you throw this one down the lane and it don't hook. You know what the first thing you're going to do? I'm going to move it up a ball. You know what? I can soften it up here a little bit because I know there's a little hole in that mid lane. I can see that ball just told me there was. Okay? So now you start, well, I move over a few boards. So now you start moving, you start laying it down, you start rolling. By the time the tournament starts, the first ball, you're dialed in. But the program is the same every day of your life. It never changes. We are not determined and process structured good enough. That's on our website. We're teaching this a lot. Okay, we're going to teach a lot of people some details they need to learn because they come from parts of the area where this stuff.
With 12, I'm like, well, I'll try this, try that.
Yeah, and then pretty soon you're old now.
I used to when I was in high school, college, just had 5 or 6.
You knew what every ball did. You knew when to use it.
A lot of it was
Now we
also
complicate it.
because you're only allowed to have
That's
that.
the ball company.
Yeah, they come out with a ball every
ball
month.
a week.
Yeah, a
And-
ball
and
a
you know
week.
what?
Same thing.
And they took all the money out of the business between Ace Mitchell's and the distributors and the ball companies. They took all the money, and here we are. And I got $3.5 million invested here, and they couldn't give a damn about me. And if it
Right.
weren't for me, they'd have no place to throw their bowling balls.
Exactly.
But they aren't doing anything for the proprietor except holding us up for more money, more money. Everything we buy is more money. But now, so we're going to build the arsenal very intelligently, and I'm not worried about it with him. I know he already knows, okay? So we get the different RGs, the different cover stock, and then tweak the pin, but a little bit, not big time. Because the pin is just 15% maximum, okay? The core is 15% maximum. The cover stock is 70% of ball reaction. That's what's most important. The core and the cover stock, then we tweak the pin a little bit, go bowl. Okay? Now it's up to you to do the other stuff. Now we have a hell of an arsenal here. Now, we want 3 boards from one ball to the next. If it's 4, okay. Here's what gets me. Let's think about this for a second. We have velocity, don't we? We have axis tilt. We have axis of rotation. We have revs. And when we build 2 blue Chevrolets, there's no 2 blue Chevrolets alike. These bowling balls are not cloned. They're not $4,000 piece of equipment. They're $150.
Right.
They're mass manufactured. And
Right.
the pin, when it drops up and down like this, 1/64th an inch changes the CG 1 inch. 1/64th of an inch. If that weight block shifts 1/64th of an inch, so when you talk about a 4-inch pin, that's a 1/8. And you're telling me, I said, if you're that good, I got to sit and watch you bowl. I'd watch you bowl the rest of your life. They've got all this, what they're doing is these people around. Some guys doing seminars and that, and I'm going to show you how smart I am and do the mass bias, and you got a 4x4 and this and all that.
Yeah.
Lingo, all the language, talking over your head.
The
You got
double, what is that?
Yeah. All that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, this
Dual
is the
angle.
dual angle layouts. Yeah. Also, you can only move the pin right and left and up and down. That's all you're allowed to do. That's simple. In fact, I'm working with this black kid down there early, and the coach says, well, he's got to get a video, he's got to do this. I says, he's ended up this far from the ball.
Wow.
I said, really? He's got to do all that? I said, why don't you just take his steps bigger?
Yeah.
Bigger desk.
That's all it is. Come on. It's just
There's no other way you can get to the foul line
Boom, you know.
without taking
So
bigger
I
steps.
pushed you in the back.
Yeah,
I
you're
said,
going to just make your swing bigger. Okay, that's going to help you get to...
and we're going to have a pin out in front of them finger holes, and we're going to throw it out on the lane. We're going to get after it, and we can rotate it, you know, and we can launch it going this way, but we have all the core and the cover and everything set up for that pattern. Instead of taking a ball up in this zone and trying to make it work, you got a 30% disadvantage before you bowl. Okay? So matching it up is the first order of business. Now here's what you do. You go into the tournament, the first thing I want you to do is throw all the bowling balls. Don't think you know any. I'll tell you. Bowling the ABC one year, and I had a decent for back then. Okay, I had a 2000 in Nashville, Tennessee, back 40-some years ago. 2000 back then was a big score. I had 94 games. I had a bunch of 1860s, 1960, 1980. You know, now I'm at Reno. I shoot 300 in Reno. I think I was there twice, a couple of times. I'm thinking we were, it don't matter where, but this guy's sitting behind me and he says, "Did you try your blue rhino?" I said, "That thing will spark at my feet." Shit, man. I said, that's got big time cover on it. It's got a raspy cover, but I love that ball. And I'm moving in, and I played there. I used to start on the fourth arrow every year. I never played the track. I knew the track wasn't playing. They blocked the track out.
Right.
You're either going to play the gutter or the fourth arrow and deeper, one of the two. You couldn't play the track.
You
because
cannot
they
play
take it.
10, 11.
Well, they take it out.
Yeah.
You know, everybody plays that at home, so
And
let's
they
take
still
that away
do
from them.
that
Yeah,
now.
let's take it away from them. We're going to take it away from them. We don't want them lighting it up here and make them like league bowling. Okay, so now I got deep enough with that ball, with the rhino, the old blue rhino, and I laid it and rolled it. Now this is all of a sudden I'm bowling the singles, and I shoot like 740 something. And I threw it out and it rolled and quit, and I pulled in and hit the roll and it shifted up on my head, yes. But it was eating the energy out of the ball. So when it got on the back, before I was using balls that went down the lane, and then skid flip on me. And I couldn't get it right. Week 10, out around it too much. Solid force, 4-9, through the nose, out the window. You know, I was fighting with it. And the whole time, because this is a lot of years ago now. Mm-hmm. Well, what an enlightening tournament that was for me, from a coaching and from ball understanding that I could eat the energy out of the ball in the mid lane and make it stop a little bit. Amuletto. That's what Amuletto does all the time. So you know what the rules are? There are no rules. Get your 6 bowling balls. That's where I'm going with. I want you to get your 6 bowling balls out there. We're going to throw them in different angles. We've got a practice session. So we had an hour and a half practice. Leave me alone. You remember Tommy Hudson? You know that name? He's from here, and I was coaching with him. So we went to Cleveland to bowl him, and the tournament was one of his first tournaments he ever bowled in. So, there's Carmen Salvino. I said, yeah, Carmen's a good friend. I'll introduce you to him later on. So he said, oh, no, I have a question I want to ask. So he run right over like a little kid. Mr. Salvino, he says, can't you see I'm busy, boy? Talk to me when I'm not in my office. I said, I got work to do right now. So I want you to be real. Now, she throws a little different than you, but you can learn by what she's doing and anybody else. You watch them all. Watch them all. Watch them all. Yeah. Watch
That's
all of
where
them.
sometimes I have him go down. They were where's she playing?
Yeah,
You know,
pay attention.
Take a
Pay
video.
attention.
Or,
Now,
you know.
see, she don't spin it.
No, she rolls it.
Now, when she's rolling it and she's going up the lane, okay, but I can remember she used to spin it when she was a little girl from Arizona, and she was on Team USA. Yeah, I was coaching when she was on Team USA. And she used to spin it more. She got better over the years. She rolled it more, and she's been a pretty good little bowler for a lot of years.
Yeah.
You know, now she can fire it down there.
Yes, you can.
Okay, but you can too. You can do all that stuff. Same fundamentals, but you know, you're not going to bowl like her. But we're going to learn what's going on out there a little bit, and then you'll see. Oh, the last time we was in a tournament, she did that. I did this. I used this ball and did this. Pretty soon, you get this whole package. It's a scientific, all matched up package. It's not just going out there and saying, "Yep, I hope I bowled good today."
It's easier on the arm.
What?
Be easier on the arm.
Yeah.
So here's the bowling ball, okay? We're reading the lane. What are we doing? Reading the transition point and the back end hook power. And we're watching in that mid lane, and that thing shoves down the lane. Uh-oh. I'll put the word spin there. I hate that word. Because that's the death trap, because that's spinning that ball. But we almost have to spin it on house conditions.
Right, to get it through, yeah.
Then we think we're bowling good. Oh, I got my game all ready to go. I'm ready for the tournament. I got the spin release now.
But those are the people that
And they don't work
score
at
high
tournaments. Yeah.
in league.
In league.
League.
Yeah. Okay. You
League,
know,
they're 230, 240 out
Right.
of the
they can beat nobody. A bunch of those people. They go out on the real world. They want no part of you.
Right.
You know.
And then
Because they got that spin biscuit working. That's what I call it. It's these spin biscuits. They bowl on track with that spin biscuit, and everybody thinks they're bowling good. Show me how to roll it on a bowling pattern. Show me how good you are when there's a little
See,
flat out there.
That's what I rolled it all the time, and then I started,
Spinning it.
because you had to on a house shot to have a tighter.
That was in defense of what you had to do. So you were learning, but then you change your game from this to that. No. I don't want you to change that game.
Right.
I want you to add this game and then anything in between.
all in your bag of
the
tricks.
whole thing. And you may use them all in 1 week. Depends the surface and how much volume of oil. Give you an example. We had a kid by the name of Anthony Chapman from Baltimore. Big black kid. He's a computer programmer, made about 130,000 a year, so he didn't want to bowl a tour. This guy was a tour player. Trust me, he was good. So we're bowling Bill Spiker's place in Chicago, and we were 600 pins down to Canada with 4 games to play. And we got 50 pins bonus. And it took 990, about 10 or 12 under to make the top 4 teams. We're 600 down with 4 games to play, and we win.
Wow. Picked up 150
A game. We come right out of the gate, 11:30, 11:20, bang, bang, and it was a 990 condition. Plus, there's a way that happens. Pat Dugan and Anne Marie. Oh, they used to get some wars. So I was her coach, and then I was his coach. They didn't know each other. I knew both of them before they knew each other. So he would say, "You're loafing. Come on." I'd say, "Why don't you just tell her to pick up her speed? Why do you got to give her that you're loafing? That's a negative."
Kind of like that speech I had after Rochester in the car.
Well, yes, exactly. That you didn't listen to what I told you, and I was telling you the same thing he told you at the first set. I just didn't see any passion. The point was, we can't drive 7 hours if you're,
It wasn't that it didn't have passion, it was low confidence.
Yeah. But here's the way that works, in my opinion.